What's up, everybody? Hey, guys, this is the Golden Boys podcast, episode number 2.
Episode 2. We couldn't wait.
Yeah,
we said we were going to wait, and then we didn't.
One a month was not good enough.
Yeah.
Technically, we still are in one a month. We'd have to do another one this month to make it two a month, but we'll see what happens.
Oh, what's going to happen?
Yeah. And then the next month, we'll see. Who knows?
We'll see if we even make it to episode 3.
Come on.
We'll see how today goes.
Gotta beat those statistics.
Yeah. Statistically, most podcasts don't get past episode 7, we heard. So we're just aiming for 8.
8.
Yeah, dude.
And then we're hanging up that.
Old crazy 8.
Beating that.
Yeah.
Well, we got some updates we were planning on diving into. Last podcast we talked a lot about good old GB initiative, the Golden Boys initiative.
Oh,
tried to make a little abbreviation there.
We're trying to shorten that.
It is long.
It's a mouthful.
Why'd you make it so
Golden
long?
Boys initiative.
It's
right.
worse when you say it like that.
Yeah. You hit every syllable.
I'm just trying to make sure I spell initiative every time I write it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drop in the comments if you know how to spell initiative. Let's see all the different ways people can spell it.
Yeah, right. All their phones are going to auto or correct
My
it.
phone typically can't figure out what I'm saying.
That's when you know you're spelling something so wrong.
Yeah.
As an autocorrect doesn't even.
It's
Their
like-
autocorrect's like, I don't know what you're doing, man.
Not following.
Yeah.
So we got some updates. Guess what, everybody? We hit the initiative already. Well, the cool thing about it is, as everyone was buying those posters up, people were also buying our shop merch, buying some tees, some sticker packs, and I think I set aside like 20-ish, I think 23 posters. And I was like, yeah, if I sell that, $20 a poster, around $400. I was like, that seems like enough to get a decent piece of equipment.
That's where you wanted to start.
Yeah. And then I looked at PayPal the other day, had a little over $500, and I was like, let's just do that. So we'll give away $500, or we'll buy a piece of equipment. We haven't quite figured that out yet, but
What equipment we're getting. We're still trying to
just trying to figure it out.
Trying to figure some of this stuff out. What's cool though is there's still posters for sale.
Yes.
And other things for sale. But the posters, they're still for sale. They're still available. There's some out there.
Yeah.
So any posters that are sold, that's still going to go into the account for the next thing.
Next one. Yeah.
Do you have any prospects on potential people to hook up?
I do. I'm in that stage of just so you guys know, this is new. We're trying to figure out how we really want to approach different things, because obviously we really do want it to benefit your shop.
Yeah.
Right away.
Yeah.
We don't want it to be like, well, yeah, I could use that,
Right.
And so trying to just figure out
We're looking for the shop where they need it.
Yeah.
It's somebody that's like, they need this thing to get them to the next place.
Yeah, they're legitimately crunching numbers of ooh, do I spend money on this or do I take that out to pay some bills?
Right.
But also, it's maybe it's not equipment. Maybe it's just $500 to go buy an ink mixing system or something like that. That hey, I couldn't offer custom Pantones to my clients. That'd be really sweet to have. And so, just trying to dial that in. But we're working on it. So next podcast we should probably
announce.
Yeah, we'll announce.
The cool thing is though is that I mean just such a good response from the first episode, and so many people were stoked on the initiative, and it's really cool to get that many people kind of supporting that dream that we have.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first off, thank you all so much. We've gotten just DMs. We've gotten so much support of holy smokes, the amount of people listening to the first episode was just pretty unreal.
Well, the final numbers were,
we I think 1,000 now, or
I don't know if it's that high, but I know it was I haven't checked today. I probably should have before we came on here. A responsible host would have done that. I think we were at over 650, just a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And that's wild, man. I didn't expect that. Not at all. Not that many. And that's like collectively from like YouTube and Spotify and Apple and Google and everything together. It was like over 650 in like a few days. It's like, you guys are crazy, man. Thank you guys.
And I'll pull out the Gary V card of like, if you have one person that's listening or following or liking your stuff,
Right.
you're like, that's amazing.
Well, it's super humbling.
Yeah. It's like, you guys care about what we do. It's nuts.
Yeah. Just to have that many people kind of just tuned in and wanting to be a part of it is it's rad.
Yeah. So two things, that kind of, actually a lot of things happened with the initiative, but a few things that were very unexpected was, we actually had Black Print Ink. Anyways, rad dude. Saw or listened to our podcast and like it instantly inspired him. He's like, dude, I have old equipment chilling.
Yeah.
It's like, why can't I just give it away? Like, and it's just so cool. We were just talking about how it's like, you have old equipment. Yeah, you could sell it for a few bucks, but like, let's just give it away. And so he instantly like recorded a reel and was like, hey, I'm giving this flash away. And a flash is such a, like, it's that costly thing that you're like, man, it'd just be so sweet to have.
Yeah.
So awesome, awesome that it's that domino effects happening. I also got hit up by my buddy Cohen with Pulse merch, and this is really cool. And I know Jared and Cory was like, heck yeah. He hit me up. He's like, hey, listen to the podcast. Awesome stuff. He goes, hey, I want to be a part. Just being honest, I don't really have the cash. So like, oh, let me throw some money towards it or whatever. He's like, however, when I was listening to the podcast, I just kind of glanced over and I have a camera with a Rode mic. And do you remember what?
I think it's like an M50, which is a really good, it's a good camera that Canon makes. He's got, I'm not 100% sure on the lens on it, but I know it's a good setup for somebody getting started. And the cool thing is he was like, let's give it away.
Yeah.
I want to give it away through the initiative.
Yeah.
And that's super rad.
Yeah. He said he's also got like some stands, a Gorilla Pod, etc. He's like, anyone, like his biggest thing was like anyone that's like really going hard on like a YouTube channel or content creation, like, and it's already a part of their DNA. It's just they need that little upgrade to make stuff just look a little better.
Needing that second angle or whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, he said, he's like, yeah, it's like worth like $700. It's $700 worth of equipment, and I'm like, dude, it's crazy, Like so. So we're gonna be on the lookouts for you content creators out there, and we'll hit you up if we pick you, just keep on going to town,
Well, and that's the big thing with the people we're picking for the initiative is it's all like, we're looking for that person that's hustling, that's grinding, that like if you're making those videos and we can tell you're putting in the work and you're trying to make something happen on the content creation front and you're like, yeah, dude, I'm just rocking my phone. And, we're looking for those kind of people that are trying to make something more and do something a little bigger with that. Same thing with the equipment stuff for the printing side.
Yep.
Is trying to find that thing that's going to make the biggest difference, the biggest impact.
Right. Yeah. So, man, those are just a few really cool things that, happened. But another thing with all of this is like, I bet you're wondering, how do I get involved with the initiative?
We've had a few people already reach out and so we want you guys, more people. Yeah. Like more people to be a part of this.
Yeah. Really, all we want to do is be a conduit, for people to be like, hey, I have something like, but I might not have the influence or the reach.
Yeah. Or just like, I got this stuff, but I don't know who to give it to.
Exactly. Like that's why that, all the equipment was chilling in my shed. And, it's like, we're finding out more and more local screen printers and just around us to where it's like, yeah, this could probably help them out. But yeah, it's like we might know some people, and if you guys hit us up, then and we can work out the shipping details and all that. And we want to help out with that. But if you have something to give away, or like hit us up, and we'll find some people for it.
If you want to get involved in any way, you know, like don't think that any idea is not a good idea. Like shoot it to us, and let's figure out how you can be a part.
Yeah, and another thing I was thinking of with it is like maybe you're thinking it's like, well, I don't really have any like money or equipment, but what do you have? You have maybe you're a talented artist and you want to give away like, hey, I just want to donate a design just like Jeremy, did with those posters. Like, please send us an email. goldenboyspodcast@gmail.com.
Is that the email?
It is.
The Golden Boys Podcast at gmail.com.
Yeah, we better put a link somewhere.
You know what? One of us is right. And
you will find out.
It'll be in the show notes.
Yeah, there you go.
So also, just please, if you're listening to this and you want to get involved, send us an email. We would love to hear any ideas, because that's also the hard part of this is like, we have some good ideas. We bounce around some stuff, but it's like, I don't know. We're here for some any info.
Right on.
I think so. Yeah.
Very cool.
Another thing that's been going on in our neck of the woods is, we talked about in the last podcast about figuring out what we're doing with the new space, and some stuff's happening, right?
Finally. So wait, do you remember when we shot that our YouTube video and we were like, so here's our timeline on the reno of the space. It was like beginning of November 12th, maybe something like that. Yeah. So we just broke ground the other day. Got pushed back a little bit.
Broke walls.
Broke walls. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, actually, my brother broke some ground the other day, legitimately.
Speaking of your brother.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shoot. I gave it away. No. So you guys here in the future, you're going to be seeing this extremely handsome feller.
Rustic.
Jeans,
just something in his jeans.
Ruggedly handsome.
Just
tatted. You can't you can't work at Golden Press if you're not tatted.
Big beard.
It's a part of the standard.
Yeah. I know actually some people might think that I'm not tatted because I don't have visible tattoos.
But you're secretly tatted.
Yeah. I have plenty of tattoos on the lower portions of my body.
Do you want to talk about one of those lower portions?
If you watch a Catch Win video, you can probably see one of them.
We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, leave it at that for sure. So my brother, I was just talking to him about the new studio and just kind of all the busyness, all the craziness we have going on. And with this current space, Cory and I kind of shut down shop to some degree.
We shut down for
3 months.
3 months. And I just worked for free. Jonathan was like,
that's right.
He was like, hey, dude,
I can't pay you.
Yeah, he literally said that. He's like, I can't pay you for during the reno time, but it'd be really cool if you could just help out. And I was like, yes, dude, I'm so down.
It'd be really cool if you could just do it anyway.
Yeah.
And so we came in here and I helped paint the walls and I helped pull 1,000 freaking staples out of the ground and get some gross carpet was stapled down in places.
And you're really good at construction, right?
I'm the worst at construction, dude. I hate construction. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
But you're really good with power tools and
I mean, I'm not qualified to pretty much handle any of them.
I don't know how to run a cordless drill.
I just recently got a cordless drill.
Congratulations.
Because I have solid wood paneling walls at my house, and I mean for the 2 years that I've been at this place, I've hand screwed screws with this hand screwdriver into these solid wood panels.
Oh my god!
Or into studs, just really cranking it down.
Oh my!
Take a break for a little bit, come back when your forearm's not screaming anymore.
Sweat running down my face, cool. Hung that picture.
Oh gosh. Anyway, speaking about demo and all that is, like, I also had the window business going. So we had some money coming in when I shut down for 3 months. But nowadays, we can't do that. And so it's one of those deals to where it's like, shoot, who's going to be doing reno over there, and also doing that like family work life balance of like, oh, hey, honey, I'm going to go work the 9 to 5, and then I'm going to go over to the new studio and work, 5:30 to 10 every night. How's that sound, honey?
Never eat again.
with the brand new babies.
Yeah, just babies everywhere. So
What did Lee say the other day? We were chatting with Lee, and he called us a baby factory.
it's solid.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
Not wrong at all.
But yeah, so I was talking with my brother, and I was just kind of telling him, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And he goes, no joke, man. He's like, I got you. He's like, I'm going to come down there. And I was like, I'll get you set up, and I told him the deadline of like when the auto is going to show up. He's like, it'll be done, man. I'm like, heck yeah. My brother's worked construction, plumbing, everything he needs to know, everything that needs to happen over there. He can do it all. So, it's good. It's a good feeling. And
he could build a motorcycle for you too.
He absolutely can. He's a phenomenal mechanic, and really cool. So
his name is Joe, by the way.
Joseph.
Oh, I've never heard the Suff.
Yeah.
Joseph Dean Overmeyer.
Wait, you guys all are named Dean for your middle name?
That's right. So Joseph Dean Overmeyer, Jonathan Dean Overmeyer, and Jordan Dean Overmeyer.
Wow.
No joke. We got the Deans.
For the longest time, I thought the D in your middle name was Dallas.
You still call me Dallas.
Doberman.
Because I think it should be.
Donathan.
That's my father-in-law's name.
Is his first name?
Dallas. Yes.
Right on.
So, yeah. Nothing against Dallas. So don't call me that.
It's not Donathan?
Jonathan Donathan?
Jonathan Overmeyer? I could have sworn that was what it was.
Wrong.
I could have sworn. You're stupid.
Anyways, so my brother is going to town over there on the new space. Gave you guys a sneak peek in our stories the other day. It is going to look sweet. Like just with that one, like the one wall, like they had like a few, like a foot-inch add-on walls. That was blocking all that beautiful brick that just going to look so good.
Yeah. And so you'll be seeing Joe popping up in some vlogs and stuff while we're doing all this because he's going to be a big part of the construction part of everything we're doing. Yeah. And he's going to be popping in and out of the videos. I asked him if he was comfortable on camera, and he said, we'll find out. So I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
Oh, one sneak peek, I'll give you a little podcast exclusive.
Ooh.
In an upcoming video, there may or may not be some electrocuting of somebody trying to handle some things, large sparks. Who knows? Yeah. We'll see what happens.
Hope future landlord does not watch this podcast. It's funny.
If you do, don't watch that video.
Yeah.
It's fine. Nothing happened.
Dude. It was normal stuff.
It's normal 110.
That was what Joe said. And he goes, it's just 110. Like, you crazy person, man.
He's like, it's all right. The breaker blew. And I'm like,
the breaker tripped before it did anything. Psycho.
So new space is under construction. And so I feel good about that. We're, everything's getting done, it's all happening. Things are working out.
Yeah. So speaking of new space, Jared and I were talking, and Jared, he wasn't here for the beginning of the beginning. I technically wasn't even here for the beginning of the beginning, and we wanted to get a little bit of background story of Golden Press origin.
Origin.
How/why did you start?
Yeah,
because I wasn't around.
Yeah, what caused you to be like, hey, window washing is not fun anymore for me?
I think you all know that answer.
Like what was the thing that was like screen printing?
Yeah.
Out of all things in the world, why screen printing?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to definitely make this short. But the cool thing was I was actually talking to my old boss yesterday, and it was just bringing up all these first initial thoughts of like the business, you know. And so this is kind of how it went down. Is I worked for my old boss for the window cleaning company for like 7 to 8 years, and like I loved my boss. We instantly became best friends, and he tells me to this day, he's like, I have never had anyone ever work for me that has the work ethic that you did. He's like, I could rely on you for anything. But with that, he said, he's like, I also acknowledge that you're an entrepreneur, and that's a hard thing. To be like, oh, hey, I just want you to clean windows for the rest of your life. You know, like he just saw the potential, which I'm super, super grateful for. And I remember, I told him this day, I remember the exact moment where we were at, where he was like, hey man, I know I can't hold on to you forever. So what do you want to do? And I was on 31 driving right past KFC. I remembered the exact moment, and I said, I think I want to get into screen printing. I was like, the reason being is I was, you know, in a national touring band. I had numerous screen printers that I called. You know, I knew how to talk with them about artwork and, you know, garments and all this stuff that I managed over that. So I was familiar with how many screens, this and this and this. But the thing that I just knew about the industry was just like, hey, I want to get some shirts printed. Sweet, they'll be ready in a few months.
Yeah.
It was just that customer service 101's like, that's a problem. You know, I was like, it was just legitimate. I was like, that sucks. You know, it's like when you buy something, you know, and you're like, oh, waiting for it to come in the mail. That Amazon Prime, it comes in 2 days. You're like, heck yeah. You know, like it's that feeling. And I legitimately, I looked over and I was like, I just think I can do that better. I'm not saying I'm going to be the top dog or anything like that. I think with my customer service, my sales, my relationships with people, I think I could do a better job. And that's legitimately, that's how it started. And then jumping off of that, I hit up my younger brother's friend, Tony, who owns the shop. I think we talked to him about him last time. Yeah. Ramona Press, shout out number 2. I flew out to Texas for a week, got to see my brother, literally just helped Tony with some orders, talked to me a little bit about emulsion, his kind of setup, and got me started. I came home. We actually had a building. So Cory told me I need to let everyone know I actually didn't start out in my garage, technically. Yeah. I started printing shirts in the back part of Crystal Clear's little office buildings where we stored all of our equipment. I just had I think it was like 12 foot by maybe 20 foot long little rectangle of a area where I started out. And the cool thing about this is my old boss, he goes, I know I can't keep you, but I want to help you start something. And no joke, to this day, the dude just wrote me a $4,000 or $5,000 check. Can't really remember. He's like, yeah, good.
I told you about the sirens, right? It never ends.
It's going to be every podcast we do.
Yeah.
There's going to be a freaking emergency.
Featuring Franklin Emergencies.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Hope you're okay.
Yeah.
So
you want to re-say what you said?
Yeah. So no joke. My boss is like, hey, I want to help you. I want to support you in this. He's like, I'm going to write you a $5,000 check. He's like, go buy all the equipment, get going. He's like, don't worry about paying me back. Just get your business up and going. And so I started printing in that back area, and that worked for a while. And then I was like, man, I need my space. Yeah. Like I need to be able to create a better flow and all that. And so then I was looking for like little pole barns, and then just at the end of it, I was like, I have a 2-car garage. I was like, I'm just gonna literally build it out the exact way I want it. built it out. Really, I was only using like a car and a half.
Yeah, because you'd still store your car in that garage.
2 motorcycles and other, like, it was nuts. But yeah, and so from there I transitioned to the garage. Definitely helped out tremendously. And yeah, so then just another little thing with that, I started screen printing in the evenings after my day job for an entire year. That was like my schedule, Monday, Friday, getting home at 5. And that was also with a brand new baby.
Yeah. Freshie.
Freshie. And
that was your first. That was when your first kid was born, right?
Yeah, it was when Hawthorne was born, and so that was a grind. It's like trying to figure out how to be parents, going to work in the wintertime, cleaning windows, coming back to the garage, trying to burn screens. It was kind of a nightmare. But if you're starting out in a garage and you know that, then you've been through it too. So a year in, I had my boss with the window cleaning company approach me. He goes, "Hey man, so I'm kind of moving in a different direction with the company." He's like, "I'm actually wanting to sell off the window business and I'm wanting to just focus in on janitorial." He's like, "Couldn't think of anyone else to sell it to besides you, man." And so I was like, "Oh, sweet. I just learned to run my one company.
Yeah.
Sure, let's just do 2. And the cool thing about it is I was like, "Yeah, let me think about it a day or so." I called him back and I was like, "Yep, let's do it." So we transferred everything over.
I don't buy it. You mean you didn't take a lot of time to think about something? You just kind of pulled the trigger? That doesn't sound like you.
No, like my thought is that, obviously I was doing window cleaning. So I was that was my salary. Anything printing wise was just that extra to where I was like, yeah, like this is sweet. I got a little extra money coming in. But then I was like, whoa, if I'm the boss, I can kind of adjust my salary, make it, this to where, and then hire someone to where I can have them go out and clean windows. I don't have to do as much windows, and then I can be printing more. And I just created that kind of dynamic. And yeah, that's how it started. So.
Yeah, it's cool to always, and I think we're gonna. I know we have some listeners that are in that starting phase, that are in that early phase, and it's always good to hear how people get going, because I think that's an important part of the journey, is knowing where you started, right. and I think it's cool knowing that like you had some help in the beginning, you had somebody in your corner, you had somebody believe in you. And you had somebody hook you up a little bit. Yeah, and
I mean, that's a big reason even why we started the Golden Boys Initiative and all of that stuff. That it's been in the DNA of Golden Press from the very beginning that like, dude, like we can't do this alone. We need people in our corner. And we've been blessed and we just want to do the same to other people. We want to, how can we be in someone else's corner and help them out,
Yeah. And also, like, another cool factor of it all was, I remember this, is like when you get help, one, you're so grateful that it puts this fire in you to like want to pay them back or to help them, like right away. Like I remember like as soon as I was like, crap, $5,000. Like I was like, dang dude, like I want to start paying you instantly, like I want to start paying you back. And he's just like, nope, just don't worry about it. And then I bought the window cleaning company and like we crunched numbers. He obviously knew what the window business was profiting every month. And he's like, yeah, just pay me $1,000 a month for a year. I bought the company for $12,000.
Jeez, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And guess what? In that first year I remember the exact day too. It was in November of the first year of me owning Crystal Clear. I paid him back 1 month early for all of Crystal Clear, and I paid him back for everything Golden Press. So I paid him, no joke, $17,000 that first year. And so instantly, like after year 1 of owning Crystal Clear, I was in the green. So, And but again, how'd that happen? It was a grind, it was the drive of like, wow, like I have something of my own. And then I have this other company that was given to me that is only going to help really, promote the company. Like, I had a desire and I was like, I wanted to grow Golden Press. Like, I wanted this to be the main gig.
Yeah.
And it's cool to have extra income happening kind of in the background. But as you guys know, the frustrations and all that stuff that I had with that and the instant battle back and forth. A lot of people probably don't know this, but I actually let that company go. I let Crystal Clear go when COVID hit. I lost all my restaurant accounts, all that, and I had to make this hard decision of like, do I put all the irons in the fire with Golden Press and run this thing and make it work? And you guys know.
Well, and what a lot of people won't know about that, and you probably won't share, is the fact that when that happened, you had probably 3 or 4 months worth of work that you hadn't got paid for.
Yeah.
From Crystal Clear.
Oh yeah.
And still haven't.
Yeah.
And so
I know that number to this day.
And it's a large one.
50 G's.
Yeah.
I don't mind sharing.
But it's one of those things of just like, that, and I think this is all very interesting because whenever you hear somebody's origin story, you always think about your own and kind of like where you started out and stuff like that, whether it's the same business or not. And I think it's important to kind of to look at this stuff. And I think some people could easily look at that and be like, well, gosh, that guy, hooked him up in the beginning, gave him a chunk of money to go buy screen printing equipment, and then pretty much handed him a business for like super cheap. And it's like, and it's easy to look at that and be like, oh, well, that's why he's in that position. Obviously, he got nice. Super hooked up. Wish I could have somebody to help me like that. And what I will say to that, and what I want to encourage people with is who you're connected with matters.
Yeah.
Those things happen because of the relationship that you'd built with your boss.
Yeah.
And I think that, and I don't remember where I saw this. Somebody was asking some questions the other day about this of like, who are you, being connected, with business. It may have been, I think it was Tano, John Tano's channel. He did something about, he talked about this on his YouTube channel about being connected to the right people in business.
Yeah.
And it's so true. Having the right connections. I mean, we've all heard this in business. It's who you know.
Yeah.
Right. It always is. And so I just want to encourage people that finding those relationships and cultivating those are very important. Yeah. And that's why we harp on that kind of stuff so much, is because that relationship has literally spawned all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And another just kind of cool factor on it, which this is that full circle stuff of, so my old boss, he was like, no joke, when I started the Golden Press, he goes, let's go buy some automatics. He's like, how can we like print thousands of shirts a day? Like, cause he's a numbers guy, and he just like, and I go, I don't want to do that. I was like, I have a very, very clear vision of how I want this to go. I want my space to look good. I want people to know that I care about my business. I care how everything looks. I care. And he's like, that's not going to make you money. And you're right. It's not. Putting money in someone else's building, it's kind of a bad business move, right? Well, for me, it sure did do a few things for us, and it got people's attention that, hey, we don't just care about the prints of the shirt. We care about video. We care about photos. We care about all of it. And so I built this on, hey, I want the brand to really stand out. Right. Now it's funny. It's full circle. It's like, I called him a month or so ago. I was like, hey man, just want to let you know, I'm going auto. I'm automating because people love us, and people like, the demand is here for us to be able to print more shirts, but also going back to that same thing of like, hey, I think I can just do this better.
Right.
We've officially hit that point to where our turnaround times are longer, and I hate that.
Yeah.
Like, it's perfect time to automate, to keep my clients happy and to keep raising the bar of quality. And so it's really cool that it's full circle of like, he wasn't wrong with that idea. It was like, hey, you should go auto. It was just in our time and in the way we wanted to do it, and now it's happening on some really cool levels.
Yeah.
I think you also have, you know, that's why it's so important to have a clear vision of what your goals are and the direction that you want to go. I think having that very clear vision in the beginning, you know, setting and allowing for those things to change, because your original vision had nothing to do with videography, had nothing to do with YouTube, nothing like that. And so, you know, leaving that open for change and stuff is good, but having a clear vision and moving forward, that stuff's super important.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can jump back a little bit. One thing I wanted to see your thoughts on, or whatever, would be, you know, that first year of you starting. You know, what was like some of the things that were like that you remember that were like huge things that you learned in that first year of like, hey, I'm starting a screen printing business. Like, what are some things that you learned that first year?
Yeah,
hit us with like the top 3.
Yeah, so I'll share one like business, and then the one like kind of screen printing like technique. And, but business wise is, you know, all like I was managing Crystal Clear. I was like kind of the office manager. I was, you know, sending out invoices and, you know, just doing kind of that administrative stuff. And that was like, oh, I just have to do that. Like I don't. You know, like, of course I, you know, fed off of my old boss and was like, hey, how do I do this? But he was like, no, like, I remember going to his house, you know, it's like, hey, how do you start a business? You should probably register it with the state, you know, like all those things. Like I had no idea, you know, like, and then it was like, it was funny. I was just like, it kind of just feels like, yep. Hey, government, I'm a business. I'm getting established here. Hey, I'm making money. How do I give you like what you need and like IRS and just all these things? I'm like, this is, you know, this is crazy. But, and I would just, you know, my advice just business wise, starting a business is that's the beautiful thing about technology and how fast we can get information today is like, just look it up, just Google it. And like, and again, goes back to the relationships. I had numerous people who had businesses that I was just like, how do you do this? I don't know, you know, and I feel like a majority of times the reason why we don't start things is because of lack of information. And that's holding you back from starting that very thing. And so I had some help, but there was a lot of things I was just like, I can't be like that stubborn self of like, oh, I got to figure it out myself. You know, it's like, no. Ask questions, ask people that you can look at their businesses and see they kind of know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And so, that was huge. I needed to know, I didn't want to do anything wrong. I wanted to pay my taxes. I wanted to make sure I had every document, insurance, you know, all these things. And so, definitely ask that information and do some research.
Cause you would probably classify yourself as kind of a stubborn, I'm going to be headstrong and do it my way and do my thing and stuff. So
absolutely.
So that first year, I mean, that was probably a little bit of a direction shift of like, oh my God, I need to be able to ask for some help.
Yeah. Well, and then think of the amount of time in a day I had.
Yeah.
0.
Yeah.
It's like, waking up at 6 a.m. or, you know, like I would, you know, with the window business, I was driving all over, you know, Fort Wayne, like 2.5 hours away, and then driving back and getting home. And it's like, how do you do paperwork? You know, like you're trying to print shirts and like, and so it was just that thing to where I really had to, you know, I remember hitting up Brian and was just like, hey, can you help me with this? And he's like, yeah, sure, man. That's no problem. I'll jump online real quick and just fill it out for you. And then I'll walk you through it so you know how to do it next time.
Right.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And then, so I was thinking of this question of just like, hey, what'd you learn in the first year? And this is a very important thing, is you should probably know mesh counts. Mesh counts are pretty important with screen printing.
Mm-hmm. That's for me when I like first started learning about screen printing. That was like the most intimidating thing. Like because I remember like trying to like understand doing halftone printing.
Right.
And people are like, well, you got to know your mesh count. And I'm like, oh no. And just fear.
What's that? Yeah. So, all right, I'm totally going to bash myself. It's all good. I learned, guys. You're learning too. It's fine. But no joke, for probably, I have to say, oh man, this is bad. Probably about 2 years of screen printing, I screen printed everything through a 200 mesh. Hey, newsflash. White, opaque prints on black shirts printed through a 200. I have to admit, yes, that was a print, flash, print, flash, print, flash, print.
It's sticking out an inch from the shirt.
No, but like,
is that a puff print?
Yeah, right.
Nah, man, that's plastisol.
Yeah. No, but legitimately, the good thing about it is, like, you can look at, like, go back on the Instagram and really look at the prints. I did like a whole lot of close-ups and stuff like that. Here's the thing about a 200. What's the 200 do? 200 mesh gives that fine lines, that nice detail. My prints look good. However, my elbows, my shoulders, my back freaking hated me.
Yeah.
So that's really, yeah, that's super funny. I was thinking of that the other day.
Made it harder on yourself.
Yeah. And so use a 160 or a 110.
Yeah.
You only have to do a print flash print and check your pressure. Imagine, like, I'm like all you screen printers pushing ink through a 200, like white ink in a garage, that ink, yeah, I modulated it, but in the wintertime, it was cold. And like,
you tried to modulate it.
yeah, it's just like, yeah. So know your mesh counts.
We should do a video.
We should
Hopefully, and sometime soon, we'll drop a YouTube video of explaining mesh count and how it works.
And why it's important.
Why it's important and what the right job for mesh counts are.
Right.
Or right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying. So yeah. What else?
Yeah, give us like one more. What was something that you think back of just like that first year that was like, dang, that thing made a big difference for me.
Yeah. Trying to figure out how to grow a business with a family, in that just that legitimate balance that you like, I'm a hard worker, work ethic, like, got to go get it done. Oh, hey, it's the job's not done, but it's due tomorrow. Yeah, just got to stay later. Got to work. Got to get it done. Got to hit the deadlines. Got to this. And how I found out very quickly that, my wife is, is like, hey, like, I'm over here. We got a baby. And like, I'm not saying like I didn't get to see my kid, for the first year, but it was one of those things I learned very quickly that, yes, my wife knows, because I'm an entrepreneur, my brain doesn't shut off, and like, you have to work, you have to grind. But I acknowledged very quickly that the days that I wasn't working, I had to be there mentally, I had to be there physically. And, I had to put down my phone a lot, because, when you're in that first year grind, you're like texting everybody, calling everybody, and guess what? They don't work the same hours you do. Yeah. So they call you in the evening and you're like, whoa, this is a big order. I got to take this call, honey. And it was that I had to find those, hey, shoot me an email. I'll reach out tomorrow. Like, I was doing t-shirt quotes as I was driving from window job to window job. That's hard.
Switching your brain back and forth.
When I first started jumping into like a lot of consistent freelance design work back in the day, it was the same for me. That like, the second someone sent me a message, I'm responding. No, I'll do that design. Yeah, for this much. Yeah. Yeah. And like, I was so like zealous and excited about it, but it was really like, I feel like I picked up some of that from working for you. Actually, setting actual work hours. Yeah. It's like a meme on the internet, I feel like, of like, 9 to 5, like, I quit my 9 to 5 so I could work 24/7 for myself. But exactly. And like, but that's some problem. That's not a good thing, you know.
Yeah.
Like you still need to set parameters of work hours for yourself, because if you don't, well, your family's going to suffer, you're going to suffer, and the reality is, yeah, dude, if this client that you're working with is like, if you don't respond to me within the first 30 seconds, I'm not going to go with you. Then like, maybe that's not who you want to work with.
Don't need you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, you know, like there's talks, and I think I was watching a live of Lee the other day and kind of mentioned burnout, you know?
Yeah.
And like, it's like burnout, like there's so many different things. Obviously, like you have just people that constantly work. Lee Stewart. And guess what? He's killing it. But he doesn't have other responsibilities that we do, you know, like, however,
and he talks about that a lot. He says that's an advantage that he has over people with families, and he's okay with where he's at in life right now because of that. And he's like, hey, I'm cool with that. Yeah. And he recognizes the advantage he has. He's like, so while I'm in this position, I'm going to get it.
Yeah. And like, believe me, we all know hard work. We all know the extra hours. We all know the grind. The thing that I figured out just, also within that first year is that like, I want to cultivate this business. I want to be protective over it because I want it to be the thing that continues to drive me, you know? And so, I wouldn't say I've ever been burnt out about Golden Press. There's legitimate scientific, hey, your body is saying no. Are you gonna keep on going? And like, I hit that kind of that mental and like physical state of just like, nope, I'm going to continue to print shirts. Nope, and then like, sweet. Yep. I just spent an extra 5 hours on top, or like a 12-hour work day. But then I was dragging the next day, And so I was like realizing, I was like, maybe I just need to work maybe a few extra hours instead of like pulling another full work day. And then I was fresh the next day to be able to maintain and like keep that like, hey, I'm not walking, I'm not sprinting, I'm doing a nice jog.
Yeah.
And that's consistent. And I can, my quality is still there and all that. And so I think that's a very important thing of just like, we understand the grind, we understand the hustle, but also just take care of yourself too, so that you can continue to do the thing you love.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and those things are seasonal too.
Right.
You're going to have those seasons where it's just like, hey, you know what? I'm going to have to sacrifice some things because I got to get some stuff done.
Yeah.
And we've all had those seasons. We've all had those times where we've just had to say, sorry, honey.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to be home tonight.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to make it for dinner. I'm not going to be able to do what we want at home and all those things. Yeah. We've had to do that. And whatever it is, whether it's a spouse or something like that, those other responsibilities can sit off to the side for a season, not permanently.
No.
And you'll have to come back. Physically is another great example of that. It's just like, dude, if you just go and go and go,
dude, you're gonna get. What Jared, what he likes to do is he likes to go really hard, and then his body's like, you're gonna die, and so then he just gets sick for like 2-3 days, and then
my immune system crashes whenever I don't.
Yeah.
And I've learned, especially as I've gotten older, that it's happening like easier. I remember like I worked a job years ago at a church in Oklahoma where we just went nonstop. The leadership there was like pretty demanding of like our time and stuff like that, and I was young and was just like ambitious. It was like, I'm trying to learn a bunch of stuff, and I was doing a bunch of video stuff. And this is, 2008, to like that time frame, 2006, 7, 8, somewhere around there. And during that time, video editing was a lot different than it is now. Like computers are so fast now.
Yeah.
So back then, dude, I was like sitting around for like literal hours all night long waiting for the computer to do something and see if it worked. Right? It's just like, all right, I did this thing. I have to wait for 2 hours to see if it worked.
Oh man.
And so like there would be times where like the whole team, the staff would come in, and I'm still there editing from the day before. Yeah. And they're coming in for the next morning, and it's like 7 a.m. I'm like, well, I'm going to go home and take a shower. Yeah. I'll be back in half an hour. I'll be back, and and then go another day. Yeah. And I remember having a moment like that where I physically got out of bed one morning and collapsed, and my legs weren't working. And my body was just like, you're done.
Wow.
And I literally stayed in bed for 2 days because I was going like that for a week.
Yeah.
And my body was just like, no. And so I don't do that stuff anymore. Yeah. Long story short.
Yeah. Nah, just take care of yourself so you can continue to do what you love,
Yeah. Have those seasons of pushing.
Yep.
But have those seasons of rest.
Absolutely.
They're important.
Yeah.
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 What about, we were talking about, the first year of printing. What about this year of printing? What's a big thing that you've kind of picked up or learned, this year of printing and running this business?
Yeah. So business wise, I have two things. If you're a business owner, that you should absolutely do sooner than later, that you guys know, as soon as I did it, it brought instant relief is, for the longest time, we dealt with you guys being 1099s for a while. And then it was hey man, I'm paying you PayPal, and guess what? You could track that, and you still got a 1099, at the end of the year and all that stuff. But then I remember Cory's hey man, I need a few pay stubs, for this. And I'm like, crap, I didn't do pay stubs, it was just, it was all through back in. Of course, I could create a few pay stubs with the dates and stuff like that to get whatever for, a car, buying a car, whatever. And I don't know what it was about it that just I can't do W-2 or I can't do a payroll or I don't know what it was, but I remember as soon as I brought all you guys on as W-2s, I was like, yep, I'm done. I'm just going to pay a payroll company to run all of our payroll, take all of our taxes out so that that's not another thing that I'm doing every month. It goes to that thing of, hey, I'm going to take my car to a mechanic and they're going to change my brakes and they're going to do an oil change and they're going to check my fluids and they're going to do all this stuff. Or I can do it. And I'm going to do it in my garage. I'm physically, and I know enough stuff.
You have the knowledge.
I have the knowledge to do that. I change the brake, or I go to change the brakes and the caliper or something gets damaged. Ooh, don't know how to do that. And so this thing towards oh yeah, I can just change my brakes. It'll take an hour or so. Turns into days. Now I'm without a car. Now it's this, and this.
More money.
Yeah. And it's just I should have just took it to the shop.
Yeah.
And let them do it and pay them the money to do it. And no joke, I look back on it, it's I pay it's a month. I pay $100 a month for them to take care of all of that.
Yeah.
And it was just really? I didn't pull the trigger on $50 every 2 weeks to get that done when I spend, oh, hey, we need a new camera, or hey, we need this. It's yep, let's do it. Let's run it. It was that small thing that I don't know what it was, but as soon as I did it, I was whoa, I feel so much better.
Yeah.
As just a boss that I don't have to deal with that.
Well, how much real estate in your brain did that free up?
Oh my gosh, so much. And then the other thing is I just recently talked to my CPA and I was guess what? I taught myself. I know how to reconcile my books every month. I know how to go in and print my bank statements and all that. I can do it. Where does that get put on my to-do list for the day? Back burner. Every single month, no joke, and I'm confessing to everyone. Last month, I reconciled all my books for the entire last year of 2020 a month ago and got it to my CPA. He's like, yeah, this is rough, man.
Yeah.
It's hey, so you want to start doing that for me? What's it going to cost? Again, it's $100 a month. It's just it's wow. Why? Why did I wait so long? So my encouragement to you business owners starting up is pay the people. Why are they CPAs? They went into that business or that that job because they kind of enjoy doing it. So pay the professionals.
Yeah. And they know how to do it well.
Yeah.
And they know how to like save you money opposed from
And not make a mistake and get your business audited.
IRS, not good, not the best 3 letters you would want to see.
No.
On anything.
Ever.
So yeah, that just as far as business and business owner and all that, I would encourage you, just look at that expense as minor, do it, and it'll free up the time for you to be able to do the things you really enjoy and love.
Right on.
So as far as printing, what have I learned this year?
Any super slick new techniques?
So
I know one.
I mean, I feel like
on.
every week Jonathan's like, yo guys, I think I learned how to print white ink.
so true. Not even gonna lie.
Maybe you don't have to talk a ton about this or whatever, but I know, I don't remember the original guy that said it, but about the adhesive stuff.
Oh yeah. So,
which I know we actually talked about doing a YouTube video on this.
we talk about doing YouTube videos on everything. It's like,
Seriously,
everything. Yeah. So I've been kind of researching the whole deal of like, hey, printing on hoodies and people using, web adhesive to like water-based adhesive, which I love water-based adhesive. I won't use spray tack or anything I will never touch that stuff.
Anymore. We used to.
In the garage, it was everywhere. It was,
All over the press.
It was nasty.
It's gross.
So I would just, apply the water-based adhesive with a little card, plastic card, and just apply it on the platen. And I always do, like when I fresh, platens, I always do like 2 layers, like flash the first one, then lay it on so that when you're scrubbing on, the lint off, that
gets
the glues build up and whatnot. And I was talking to, I think his name might be Sean in the Rogue Printers group. And this dude has, printing tens of thousands of shirts, numerous autos. He's like, oh yeah, we haven't touched web adhesive for hoodies for years.
Because you were asking about hoodies.
Yeah, I was like, can I get by without using web? And it is what it is. It's still a technique I'm just trying to figure out. But he goes, this is what you need to do. You need to go and you need to buy like one of those like kind of cups or, to like hold paint, or the ones with like the little roller, like you're painting a wall, but it's smaller. And he goes, go buy those little foam, very important, foam rollers, and just put the glue on and roll the adhesive on your platens. And Jared would approve that you feel way more like Superman.
Spider-Man. Yeah, Spider-Man.
Superman.
He's the one that uses his fingers to stick
Superman
to things.
has never used
Superman
webs.
he doesn't
or
use webs.
stickiness.
He just flies.
I don't
He's
know
got
my
a handful of
superheroes, guys.
but stickiness is not one of Superman's powers.
You don't know.
X-ray vision, faster than a speeding train. Can leap buildings in a single bound.
Spider-Man, guys.
Did you never watch cartoons?
No, I was
someone please rip Jonathan apart in the comments.
Read a comic book. Hello.
Freaking tear us up.
Not us. You.
Tear me.
We know our superheroes. We watch all those shows.
All right, this has gone on way too long.
But yeah, so I do always. I've talked about it before. I like to touch the platens right after, because they are super sticky. And Spider-Man was one of my favorite comics growing up, and so.
Well, let's also tell everyone that one time that you went like
we've
on
already
an actual wet print.
that's
messed up a
already
shirt.
that's already been established. We already know that
hey,
story.
bash Jared for jacking up a print.
Nah, everybody's done that. But who cares about that? Comic books, though, like in superheroes, get real.
No one has messed up a character.
You're not going to get out of this by trying to shift blame.
I fail. I'm sorry.
Well, I think that there's some good tips and tricks and questions to be answered and stuff. That's awesome. I always like to dig into the beginning of things. I think that origin story stuff is really great, especially if you ever watched a superhero show, movie.
yeah, it's
the
like
origin story is
every-
kind of like a big deal.
Yeah, that's like that's what it's all about.
It's all about it. But yeah, so there's some of Jonathan's origin story, which is pretty sweet. But we did ask you guys for some questions. We're trying to make, if you haven't noticed, we're trying to make this episode a little bit shorter. We literally just hit 1 hour.
Yeah.
So we're trying not to go as long. Unless you want them to be super long, let us know.
Yeah.
But we did get some questions. We figured we'd answer some questions.
Yeah, might do some rapid fire
questions.
Yeah, we might deep dive some of them,
What do they call
but
it? Lightning round?
who knows?
Freaking
Lightning round.
lightning round. All right, here it is. First question. Have you ever thought about starting your own brand? Yes, I have. I have a brand. It's been on the back burner for 2 years, and Cory will totally bash me all day about it.
Dude,
Sweet, thanks.
yeah, I've made a lot of really cool designs for this brand.
It's got like 15.
Years ago, I've made these designs, and some of them are technically even printed, and they just sit on a shelf and
Over
do
there.
nothing. Yeah. But if you're looking for brands, catch wind.
I was gonna say, have you ever thought about starting a brand?
Yeah, I've actually started a couple brands in my life. I started one back in the day. I think it was called 2C Apparel. It's not the greatest name, and
And you let it die.
yeah, actually, funny enough, I didn't even know who printed this, but it was T-shirt Express, literally like 5 shops down the road. They printed that stuff, which is cool. But yeah, it just kind of fizzled out. And I didn't know enough, but now Catch Wind is doing all right. We got basically no inventory because we sold out of a lot of stuff. And
Going on to my next question. When are you going to print new Catch Wind merch?
Who submitted that question?
I don't know. I might know the boss of that company.
It was Catch Win. Catch Win wrote that.
Yeah. And my response to you is automatic press.
so what we're saying is like never.
No, what I'm saying is in a few months when I actually have time.
All right. Sorry anyone that wants Catch Wind merch. It'll come eventually.
Sorry, we're trying.
And if you're asking me if I've ever thought about starting a brand, yes, I have one in the works right now. It's really cool.
Please share the name.
Well, Cory has a brand called Catch Wind.
Yeah,
and
it's
so
pretty sick.
I thought, man, that's awesome. I'm going to make a brand called Throwing Water. So we'll let you know when it's up and running.
Launches.
Yeah, get ready. Details coming out. I think we're getting ready to launch like September 2025. So
Yeah,
we'll
and
let
I
you know.
think Jonathan, he's working on another one called Kick Rocks too. So
Yeah,
We
So,
have all the brands.
we got some.
the elemental brands.
Yeah. If you have a good idea for one with fire, let me know.
No, legitimately to wrap up this question is yes, we have brands that we've been wanting. We want to do so much more. However, everybody knows this. You either get into screen printing because you want to print for your own brand, and you guess what? Your brand needs to like hit very fast, or you have inventory money that you've spent time printing and buying shirts just sits on the shelves. Or you start printing for clients and you start making money. And we chose that route to start getting clients, building a clientele so we can print other people's stuff so that we can make funds and make the time to be able to print our own stuff.
Yeah.
And that time is coming year 2022.
Holy crap! That's forever from now.
Dude, it's like a month away.
It's like,
So
Next year?
so be on the lookout.
Crap, dude, I'm gonna have to like renew my license.
Right.
oh, that's coming up.
I feel like all the cards in my wallet, it's like the 22 is like the number at the end of it. Like
Expiration.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, next one. What's it like looking back on your shop in a garage versus having 2 different spaces with equipment? So again, we talked about in the first episode, we don't know if we're keeping this space. We might not. But yeah, it's so crazy how fast you think a space is going to just set you up. You know, like I remember I was like, oh, I'm going to put all this money in this space. We're going to be here for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Nope. It's like we found out very quickly that this space was not big enough, but we've made it work up until this point. And now even the next space we're looking at, it's like, yeah, we can fit another auto in there, but we got to figure out what like our other services look like, like video and photo and all that. We might have to just keep both locations just to be able to do everything we do. So, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy that like we're able to have both places and be able to do everything we do. So it's humbling.
Yeah, and especially like just talking about all the beginning stuff earlier, it's probably got to be a little nostalgic to remember those times.
Yeah, for sure. Another question, rapid fire, lightning round, boom, boom, boom. What's the best and worst part of working with each other? Hey, Jared, you want to start this one off?
I'll answer this one. I have a lot of things to say. We've talked a lot about how me and Cory work close together on a lot of things. And I've talked before. I mean, the last episode we talked about how me and Cory have known each other for a long time. We have a lot of years together. Yeah, we treat each other more. Excuse me. We treat each other more like brothers probably than anything else. I want to punch him most days.
That's the truth.
No, I'm not joking.
Yeah,
and I'm not like, oh, I could punch him. No, I want to punch him. Like the other day, he came in and showed me his shin where he'd scratched up real bad on a skateboard, and I was like, oh dang, dude, that was a rough one. Like, yeah, that's a pretty bad one. And then literally throughout that day, there was 4 different times where I was like, put your shin up. I want to hit it. I want to hit it in that spot.
So good.
And not like in a like, ha, ha, ha. No, like for real. I want to do it.
Yeah.
Dude, if Jared like punched me like full force, it would probably demolish me, dude. Just like, I wouldn't exist anymore.
Oh,
crumple you.
yeah.
No, like it's a lot of fun. We have a good time. The three of us get along well. Yeah. There's stressful days, obviously, for sure.
Yeah.
There's days where we annoy the crap out of each other, but it really is like family, which I think is cool because coworkers can piss you off, and then you can just be like, "Screw that guy," and you can not talk to him again. But when it is family, when it is, we experience that brotherhood and stuff, and so like it is one of those things like where we can be super annoyed and frustrated, but at the end of the day, we're gonna sit down and eat dinner together or whatever, and it's not a problem.
Or at least lunch,
Or at least lunch. Yeah. Some days we skip lunch together, but
yeah. No, another thing too that's so cool. I'll talk on the positive realm of work is the fact that
I ended it with positive.
I know, but Cory, he wants to punch you, just so you know.
Oh, you know, I know.
Just another reminder is the fact that like as a boss, you like this is my company, right? Like this is my company.
We get it. Jeez.
But the difference is unlike most shops, these guys have ownership. Do you know what I mean? Like, or they take ownership of this. And so when I struggle, they struggle because they have just as much in it as I do. Maybe not as much, but you get what I'm saying.
Not the financial burden.
Yeah, not the financial, but like the drive and the frustrating parts of like, we're almost there. We're almost to this next like leap to where, just some things, doors are opening and other things that we spent so much time are like closing out. And, that's the thing that I love the most is, they really do. When I feel burden on this business or what we're doing, they feel it too. And so it's not like, hey, let me explain to my employees why I was an absolute piece of trash that day, and didn't, was just had an attitude, like they know because they're feeling the same thing. And
and in the same aspect, it's like when you succeed, we succeed as well.
Yeah.
Like we, it's just kind of part of it, how, we bear one another and we have the joys, we have the hard times. I'd say even for myself, one of the best things working here, we talked a little bit about this in the last one, was like, Jonathan, man, he's what makes it all possible. And he makes it so sick, working for him.
Well, like we said earlier in this episode, it's really important to, pick who you connect yourself with in business.
Yeah.
And the reason me and Cory are still here is because we believe in what we're doing. We believe in our leadership, and we feel like we're connected to a good place. And so, yeah,
he's the most supportive boss I've ever had.
sure. I will agree with that.
We should get him a mug that says "World's Best Boss."
I know where we can find one. And then I'll just say this so we can move on because we're not doing a very good job with the lightning round. But brotherhood means nothing without your brothers.
That's true.
Okay. Good song. Good song.
Great song.
All right, rapid fire. Here we go.
Maybe.
Let's see. I am just starting out. What is some helpful resources and tips you would give? YouTube is an absolute massive resource. Utilize it as much as possible. You know, when I started out, guess what? I didn't have Cory. I didn't know design. I didn't know Photoshop. I didn't know Illustrator. I didn't know how to screen print. Like I had some basics. I went to YouTube and I utilized what was there at the time. And I learned enough to get going. And then I started realizing, hey, I probably shouldn't be doing designs. Yeah. Like, because yes, I'm making it work, but Cory can make it better. Right. And so YouTube is absolutely a great resource. Tips is just be teachable, talk to people, connect with other shops that you can see that their goal is to give value and to help. That's my advice.
Yeah, find a lot of YouTube channels to follow. You know, we'll obviously promote ours, but I mean, there's tons of them. There's tons of good ones out there. Listen, I follow a ton of YouTube channels on a ton of different things that I'm interested in, and some of the people that I'm even following are like, I don't particularly like those guys as much. I don't love. They're not my favorite or whatever, but I still follow them because they may drop something that's got some value, and I need to learn as much as I can about whatever it is I'm trying to learn. Yeah. So soak all that stuff up. YouTube's free.
Yep. All right, rapid fire. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see. How important is website design to a new business? Cory?
Yeah, so we'd like to thank our sponsor, Squarespace. No, just kidding.
Hey, Squarespace, if you're listening,
sponsor us, Squarespace. We use Squarespace.
We do.
Yeah, I think web design is super important. I know that it's not a place that a lot of people put on the forefront of their mind of like, oh, it's not a place that everyone's going to every day. Right. It's not like an Instagram or something where like, oh, need to check that website to see if they got any new something going on there. Like, but it's a legit place. And, I know we've gotten a lot of compliments, on our stuff, even Catch Wind as times is like, like, oh, you guys are like a for real business. And like, I think it just helps make you feel a little bit more legitimate.
Yeah, exactly. Cause what do you do when you like, for us, like our brains kind of go like, hey, I'm going to check out, do they have an Instagram? Because we're huge on Instagram. And it's been such a really good tool for us.
When you say you're huge on it, you mean like you're not saying we're so big on Instagram, we have all these followers. You're saying like it's a priority for me to like go look at and stuff like that.
We're so huge.
I wanted to clarify that because as you said it, I knew what you meant, but
I'm just being super braggadocious right now. Like, we're so huge.
That word of day calendar is really coming in, dude. Coming in clutch for you that I got for you for Valentine's Day.
No, it's just like when a brand hits us up, it's like, hey, we'd love for you to print our stuff. It's like, okay, is it the startup brand?
Yeah.
Or is it the brand that, hey, we've been established. Okay, I'm going to check out your website.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, you guys know what you're doing. Your marketing's well. Stuff looks good. Yeah. I want to work with you because you see the importance of having, again, we say it repeatedly. And this is straight up Jared 101. You have one chance to make a first impression.
Yeah.
And when people, those websites you go to, and they look like trash. Yeah. I don't want to work with them.
And on the reverse side of that, sorry to cut you off, but I'm going to. On the reverse side of that, like you as the print shop, people are doing that to you.
Yeah. Exactly.
They're going to look and see if all you have is like 15 pictures on Instagram of some shirts on your dining room table.
Yeah, Absolutely.
That's the kind of clients you're going to get. And I don't mean that in a bad way. And that's good. And if you're in that phase, get it. When you get to a place where you can build a website, do it.
Yeah.
You need to. Legitimate businesses have websites.
Yep. Yeah, and just pro tip when it comes to having a good website, I really feel like one of the biggest keys is just having good photography on your website.
Absolutely.
You know, people like they want to go there. You don't have to have all these sweet animations or all these cool, drop down menus. It's just like have some really clear, good looking photography on your website, and people are going to look at that and they'll be like, oh, this looks nice. This looks good. They're scrolling through. You have clear information.
Yeah.
Who we are, what we're about, what we do. How can you get our services?
Yeah.
Straightforward, get some clear, solid information and have it just look nice. And, you go on any website that has really great photos and you're going to be like, this looks like a great website. How did they make their website look so good?
Right.
It's like they didn't really do any web design. They just took a nice picture.
Right.
Absolutely. Next one. Do you recommend starting out with vectors or trying to draw your own designs? Cory, I'm going to take this one. No, this is your realm.
So they're talking about like vector packs and stuff like that.
So, I mean, I think, when you're first getting into stuff, for sure, dude, if start with some vector stuff. At least that's where I started. I started straight into Adobe Illustrator. I had no drawing background, and I just started messing with creating vector objects using some, vector stuff I found on the internet. And that's a really great way to like get your foot in the door.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of really cool vector packs for sale, that you guys can go check out. I literally saw today, what's their name? What is it? Give me a sec. I was literally corresponding with them.
Hey, by the way, our vector packs.
Boyd, the Boyd creative people. They're so sick.
Yeah.
This morning, I looked and they made a really cool shirt design. They used one of my fonts. They used something from the Skull Vector pack. They used 3 different vector packs to create this design, maybe 4 because it had texture on it too. So they probably used that.
Yeah.
And my font, and they made a unique, original, very cool shirt design just out of these vector packs. And saw it and I was like, dude, super sick. I know people are going to buy that. People are going to want that.
Yep.
And they didn't have to do any drawing.
Oh.
But I highly recommend don't limit yourself with only digital computer vector design. Right. I think it's important to put your hand to something, man. Your hands can create really amazing things and really unique things. And so I think it's really important to put your hand to pencil, paper, pen to iPad, whatever it is, create something from your hand. And it's always going to have a little extra uniqueness to it. Even if it's bad at first, my stuff is still bad sometimes. And so
I disagree, but it's because you've been growing. So also we should touch base on that. If you need vectors, we have a ton of vector packs at screenprinting.com. We've built out that entire page, and Cory spent a ton of time, a ton of effort, really thinking. See, he's a screen printing designer. He knows that. He can design other things and all that, but he really sits down and thinks about how is this going to help the screen printer that the realm,
an artist.
Exactly. His realm is not, that's not his strong point. And so because this is our atmosphere, we're always thinking about the screen printer. So check out those packs.
Yeah. I have 2 master classes covering Adobe Illustrator and Procreate on screenprinting.com that will teach you how to utilize vector packs. It'll teach you how to utilize hand done stuff. It'll teach you both sides of the coin.
How to combine that stuff and use them together. And all the links to all this stuff will be
free as a freaking bird.
Yeah, all those classes are free.
Yeah. And we definitely have a few vector packs on our website also that are not at screenprinting.com. That we're creating stuff for both realms. We really see the importance of digital stuff. So check it out. Buy yourself some vectors. Let's see. Ooh, how many questions? Oh, rapid fire.
So fast so far.
Dude, it's
been like the most quick lightning.
Yeah.
Light.
We are faster. How do you get clients? Social media.
Yeah,
I was gonna say,
talk to your mom. Get your mom to
word
buy
of
some
mouth,
stuff.
word of mouth, and utilizing the free social media stuff. It's all in your hands. You can make it happen.
All right. I love this question. How do you find balance with work, fun, and family? You guys.
Step one: prioritize fun. Man, you got to have fun.
No, I agree with you. You should be having fun at work. You should be having fun with your family.
Yeah.
And something that me and my wife do that not a lot of people like.
Tell us, Jared. Tell us what you and your wife do.
Oh my God.
So this is why I want to punch Cory.
Yep. You just got a unedited raw taste of.
And this is my entire day. Everything I say gets that treatment.
Arf.
There it is. All right. So one thing that we like to do is we like to set aside time for each other. Sick. Right on. Stupid. No, but we also like to set aside time for ourselves at home.
That makes sense.
She gets because she's super into like baking and stuff like that. I'm not.
Yeah.
So like last night, she spent a large portion of the night baking cookies for this cookie party thing that she's going to tomorrow with like
No
her
one invites
sister.
me to a freaking cookie party.
Well, that's what I said something about it because I was talking to my buddy Marcus. Shout out Marcus Hernandez.
Marcus Hernandez.
Links to his socials will be in the show notes for no reason at all. He's my childhood buddy. He'll be here. He'll be here in a little bit. In January, he's coming hanging out. But anyway, I was chatting with him. We were since he lives in Texas, we like FaceTime during the football game. So like, I'm watching football. My wife's baking cookies.
Yeah.
And I'm not in the kitchen like sprinkling flour on stuff. I don't know. I don't know how to bake. I don't even know if that's I think she spreads it on the counter so it doesn't stick maybe.
Yeah.
But like I have no desire to do that. She really enjoys it.
Yeah.
If I'm in the kitchen with her, she won't enjoy it as much.
Yeah.
So it's important for us to like, I think that's something to remember, like, with family, like balancing, like do your work stuff, do things separately, do things together.
Yeah.
That's something that we do. And that's like allows me to have like my transition from work into the home of like, all right, I come home and I'm not immediately doing a bunch of things.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, all right, we're chilling, we're having dinner. And then I go and I play with the kiddo. And then after kids go to bed, then we hang out together.
So sick, dude.
Right on.
Arf.
Yeah. We covered some of this earlier of like, hey man, when you're off work, sometimes you got to be off work.
Yeah.
You got to put your phone down and that stuff. And that's been a big thing for me of how I've navigated stuff is like, oh, someone messaged me about a design on the weekend. Well, I'll talk to them on Monday.
Yeah. Yep. And really cool thing that it's like, this is still mind blowing to me. So as you guys know, we have 3 lovely kids. We have a 5-year-old, a 18-month-old, and a
1-year-old,
4-month-old. So we got some tiny babies, and I wake up, go to work. My wife deals with babies all day. And when I get home from work, there's just been times to where she she just looks me in the eye and she goes, "You should call AJ, or you should call Blake. You should go hang out with them." I'm like, "What?" I was like, "Why?" She's like, "Because you'll be better." And it's this thing. I'm like, that's so selfless. Like of her, like, you've been changing diapers, cooking food, trying to eat food yourself, like all this all day long. And then I get home and you see like maybe some stress or like, hey, you should go hang out with someone, because she knows that I'll get with my buddies that own businesses and we can talk and voice stresses and encourage each other. And she's like, yep, you'll be a better father and a better husband if you go do that first. Mm-hmm. It's like, man, like that still just blows my mind.
Yeah.
So that's that,
So the answer is get a great wife.
Yeah.
Get a great wife.
No,
my wife does the same for me. Like, go skate.
Yep.
you know?
Yeah. I think it's important to like, if you got to figure out what works for you.
Yeah.
Right. As far as that balance goes, that's going to be, our balances are all different.
Yep.
Right. And your balance is going to be different than anybody else's. So like, you got to figure that out.
Yeah.
If it's just you, you should still figure that out with you.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not married yet, or, you know, and you're just like, all right, I'm trying to figure out like, you know, friends and going and having fun and having a life outside of business, like figure that out. What works best for you? If you're super introverted and you want to hang out in your house and not do that stuff, like still figure out a healthy way for you to not be tied into one thing always. Find that balance, you know, do some things, you know, chill out on the couch and, you know, watch a stupid trash TV show, you know, do whatever.
Yeah. Awesome. Hey, this is going to be the last one. And then,
Finisher. The ender.
Man, that lightning round was so fast. This one is from good old Gilly.
We love Gilly.
That's a good question. What are some new goals for the new shop, content, and staff?
Do you have any?
No.
Hey, everybody.
So yeah, I'll touch base on the new shop because for me, just overall goal with this new shop is really dialing in every aspect of our business and trying to create a space that is going to allow us to do all those things the most efficient way possible. Again, I'll touch base on this. I feel like we touch base on it a lot, but like Jared can't do Jared's work without getting interrupted, or there's like a pause, or there's something that has to happen for him to be able to do this. Or, you know, Cory is like, oh, I got to take photos. It's like, oh, well, now we got to take the podcast section down. You know, like there's just all these different things that are legitimate, like just hindrances or things that take a lot of our time, breaking down stuff, setting stuff up. The new space, my goal is to have a space for all of us that we can all operate, work without having to, hey, can you come help me? Hey, can you this happen, this and that? That's my goal with the new space, because again, efficiency is key, but really like we waste, I wouldn't say waste, but we spend a lot of time doing that stuff. And that could be time of us just pouring into the stuff that really, one, pays the bills, matters, and, you know, helps us all have just a better coming in. It's like feeling accomplished, like, oh shoot, yeah, we had some extra time to get this done today.
Yeah,
that's my goal for the new shop.
Heck yeah. It's good.
What was the other part to that? New shop and what else?
Goals for new shop, content, and staff. So content, guys.
Content.
I mean, we always have plenty of content goals. We want to just keep posting as much as we can on YouTube. You know, we want to keep this podcast rolling strong.
Yeah.
Instagram as well.
Yeah, Instagram as well.
Instagram's kind of our, you know, our bread and butter, you know, beginnings.
I think, something that we've been talking about a lot lately is one of our goals within content is like getting more sponsorship, like sponsored videos and that kind of stuff.
And not because it's like, oh, we deserve it and we want to make more money and all this stuff, but it's more of just like, so we can do more of it.
Yeah.
We have so many ideas and so many goals, but if you're not doing, you know, videos on YouTube and stuff, it's hard to understand that side of it. But it takes so much time, and right now, in order for us to, and just to be completely transparent with you guys, in order for us to pay bills and make things connect, because we're not sitting on $1 million, you know, bankroll, you know, and so to make us get flush at the end of the month, it's like we're constantly having to figure out ways for me to go out and do, you know, external client video work. Whether that's a music video or some promotional stuff for different companies. And we're trying to connect with companies that fit us and it's fun and we enjoy doing it. Sometimes it's just not the case, and we have to do things that we don't want to do. And it's just part of business. You got to do things like that. But we would love to get to a place where we could do just our stuff.
Yeah.
And then selectively work with a couple brands that we just super dig and want to do stuff with.
Yeah. Because, even the other day we were about to film a video, and then it was just like, oh, the pressure of other work and other stuff is going on. But it was like, yo, if I know that if we would have had like extra finance backing that video, we were like, hey, we will get this video done no matter what, because it's not the pressure of, you know, the other financial things.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know, that may have seemed kind of like a little bit whiny and kind of like, aw, but that's our goal moving forward. That's what we're aiming towards, to produce more content for you guys.
Yep.
We want to be able to, that's how, if you're not sure, if you don't know, that's how influencer marketing works.
Yeah.
That's how YouTube works.
Yep.
Is brands and companies will sponsor a portion of a video, so all you guys see it, and you'd be like, oh, that was interesting. I didn't know about the Lawnmower 4.0. Which leads us right into the sponsor of this episode. You know,
like the multi-sponsored, actually not sponsored by anything episode.
I know we've been non-sponsored by so many things. But yeah, it's that's just how it works.
Yep.
And it allows us to keep bringing you guys free information, free entertainment, education, all those things.
Yep.
That's how it works.
Yep.
That's what your subscription button is. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. You just agree to watch some ads.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah. So if you're a sponsor and you want to sponsor this podcast or our YouTube channel, send us an email. Jared, get that in there.
Hit me up, Whataburger. I'm always repping your stuff.
So much. That's all he owns.
I actually just got a new Christmas sweater from my parents down in Texas. That's like Whataburger with matching socks.
Yeah.
It's pretty legit.
Yeah. And if you're unaware, we are based in Indiana, where we have no Whataburgers whatsoever.
So people are super confused all the time. Like, what is that?
But Jared is a obsessive fanboy.
Die Hard.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So last thing is, want to give a shout out to the homie Lee Stewart. He is almost to 100,000 subs on YouTube.
Dude,
That's
what a little champion.
what a little champion.
Are they going to give him a little plaque with his face on it, or
It won't be his face. It'll be the YouTube silver play button.
Gosh, YouTube is so conceited.
It should be your face, right?
And so Cory, I need you to share with everyone Lee's name that you share.
You know, good old Lisa. We love Lisa, man.
Lisa Stewart.
Lisa Frank.
we were.
He's the opposite of that look.
I
Lisa
really
Frank.
Lee. Where's
Think
the
for this camera.
All right, Lee.
You want to go get close? Here, go to your close up.
Yeah. Lee, the next video that we want to see from you is to do a Lisa Frank print, and just freaking the freaking greens and yellows and all the bright
Pinks
colors
and everything,
pinks and the teals and the purples, and it'll be Lisa Stewart Frank print. I don't know. I'm sure you'll find out. It'll be a great thumbnail.
I do want to say something about Lee real quick though, because you brought it up and stuff. Like a lot of people follow his channel, and they should, because he's so good at what he's doing. You know, he's done a great job of bringing people along of his journey of learning how to get this thing going and start screen printing and creating your own clothing brand. And he does a great job of being super real and authentic and just saying, like, showing you everything.
Yeah.
Here's how it is. Here's what I think. And I will be completely honest with you.
Yeah.
No filter whatsoever. Everyone knows that. Excuse me, about him. And the cool thing about Lee is he genuinely wants to help people.
Yeah.
Like genuinely wants to help people. And whenever he found out about the initiative, like me and him were texting, he was like, dude, I'm so stoked on this. He's like, I want to help out. I want to be a part of that. And so we got information on that coming soon, how he wants to help out. But it's just super rad. Me and him talk all the time on video editing stuff.
Yeah.
And we're always tossing stuff back and forth of like different ideas and techniques. And he's always been hitting me up like, hey man, did you know about this? I'm like, no, I didn't know about that. Or I'll share a technique with him. Like, he wants to help in everything, any way he can. And he's so close to 100K.
Yeah.
And we probably don't have any followers that aren't following him, but just go share his stuff.
Yeah.
Get that guy to 100K, man. Let's make it happen.
Yeah,
That'd be so sick.
that's how the YouTube game works, and what we've learned is that
Make your mom subscribe. If she doesn't have, make her an email.
Yeah, make your wives, your moms, your girlfriends, make a separate email, make your business account follow him and your personal account.
Yeah, that's
Just freaking do it.
no, that's not going to help his views or anything.
Hey, we're
It'll
trying to
get
get him up the sub.
get him the sub
Yeah.
count. Yeah, no, it's
And then watch the videos twice on the different accounts.
No.
And drop a comment. Ring that bell.
oh gosh, no, it's that thing that when you're in the YouTube realm, all those tiny little things you can do really matter for the channel. And so as we're growing our channel, we see the importance. That's why we're wanting to elevate. Doesn't matter where you're at, channel, whatever. We want to help elevate you. Share your stuff, like your stuff, comment on your stuff. It helps out. It really does. Please do it. Check his channel out. Yeah, we appreciate you, Lee. You're a homie. Yeah,
All right, on.
I think that wraps it up.
wraps it up.
There you go. Golden Boys episode 2.
Hope you liked it. If not, why are you here?
That's going to be Jared's sign off on everything.
See you there. See you in the air. Arfies.
Later.
On you later.
Please be recorded this time, my lord.
Shut up.